right into skin prepping. I'm going to be using my Nuke Skin Booster. It's basically an energizing, priming concentrate. What it does is replumps the skin, and it creates like a really fresh skin. It's got anti-fatigue properties. It helps the skin to look really like fresh and vibrant and glowy, and I have been really enjoying this. I really like the fact that it's a skincare product and it's not just a primer, so that I know it's not just putting a whole lot of stuff in my pores that are that's gonna just soothe out my foundation. It is actually going to make my skin glow and protect my skin and give it all the wonderful essence that it needs. I really like this product as well because I feel like it absorbs into the skin really quickly, so you can kind of go straight in with your makeup. You don't have to wait for the product to absorb like most moisturizers. Before this, I did just cleanse my skin, put on a normal moisturizer, and then I put on my SPF product because it's obviously during the day. And then just going in with my MAC Fix Plus. This was custom made at a MAC event that I went to a few months ago, but basically all it is normal Fix Plus, and then it's got like a little bit of pigment in it. I love this underneath foundations because it does give me an added glow. Anyone can create this. You can literally take a normal Fix Plus and put in a little bit of a glitter pigment in it, and it gives your skin like a really nice glow. I'm going to bring you guys a little bit closer so you can see my foundation application. The foundation that I'm going to be using today is a Catrice HD Liquid Coverage Foundation. I do have a full video on my channel all about foundations that I've been loving, foundations from the drugstore, base foundations from the drugstore, and all the kind of foundations that I use. I must say I love this for quite glam looks, for quite full coverage looks. It's pretty affordable, and it always has given me the most beautiful coverage. This is the shade 40 Warm Beige. It is slightly too dark for me, but during the summer months I wear this all the time because obviously I'm a lot more tanned, but I will probably have to start buying the lighter shade now that we're going into winter, if lockdown ever ends and we can actually buy makeup again. That'll be so great. I'm just going in with my Thunder Cosmetics Kabuki brush, and I'm just going to buff into the skin like this. I'm just going to push the product in. One of the reasons I love this foundation is have a look how full coverage it is. I've literally put on one layer and it's covered all my freckles, it's covered all my imperfections, my pigmentation, my areas that I'm not that happy with. It also completely covers like any area of redness. I have a few unwanted friends here and a few here, and it's completely covered. So I do really like this foundation. I use it quite often, and I feel like for foundations, if you are somebody like me that wears full faces every single day of your life, you want a foundation that's pretty affordable and can be used, you know, that you can just get easily from a drugstore, and is obviously going to give you the results that you want. So I am just going to go over the eyelid area as well with that foundation. I'm doing quite a light coverage over the eye area. If your eyes are not fully covered, don't stress too much about it. We are going to build in some other primers in that just now. Can we just take a moment for how beautiful this foundation is? I'm going to go back in with my Same Fix Plus, and I'm just going to give it a bit of a spray. My skin is quite dehydrated at the moment, so the more times I can spray, the better for my skin. The next step is I'm going to move straight onto the eye area because this is obviously the focal point of the look. I'm going to be going in with my little paint pot from MAC in the shade Painterly. If you guys don't have this, if you're a makeup artist or a beauty guru or you're somebody that just is super passionate about makeup, you have to have Painterly in your kit. It is such an amazing eyeshadow base. It really does give the best like coverage on the eye area. Mine is like hella dry, so I really need a new one. I'm just using a little flat top brush. This is like a really old MAC brush from one of their collections. And I'm just going to put it all over the eye, creating a really nice base. You can pretty much use any eyeshadow base for this. I just like using Painterly because it does have a bit of pigments in it. And obviously with this look, you want to work on a really like clean canvas and a really smooth surface, so that that glitter is really like showing up nicely. Those eyes are properly prepped. I am going to go straight in with my glitter, but what I'm actually going to do is use Inglot Duraline, and I'm just going to dot it out onto my hand just like that. This is obviously the pigment in 3D Platinum. I bought this when I worked at MAC a few years ago. I don't know if it's still available. I'm sure it is. But now that I've mixed it in with that Duraline, you want to make sure that it's quite it's almost looking like a solid paste. You really want to make sure you're taking that glitter and you're really packing it onto that eyelid area. Don't worry too much about fallout. That is something we can clean up later. But what I'm doing is I'm literally concentrating that glitter onto the lid. I'm not going over the lid. I'm literally just packing it into the center of that lid, and kind of making sure that there's no major gaps anywhere. I keep looking in the mirror and I keep going back into the glitter to try and pick up a little bit more, and then just keep packing in onto that lid. Okay, this is looking quite messy and crazy. Generally, I don't love like silver on my eye because my eyes are blue. I sometimes feel like it makes the eye area look really dead. So what I'm actually going to do now is I'm going to go in with a much warmer eyeshadow to clean up, to almost create like a diffuse look, but then to also clean up a little bit of that glitter. So firstly, I'm going in with quite a fluffy brush, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to just really lightly clean up that areas. Picking up a really thick blending brush. It's a really like thick fluffy blending brush, and this is from Dupe Factory. It's actually one of my favorite brushes ever. And I'm going to be picking up my famous, if you guys have been watching my channel for a while, you know how much I love this. It is my James Charles Morphe palette. It's so amazing. I love every single shade in it. What I'm going to be using is I'm going to be using this like a combination of this soft orangey tone and then this more like terracotta tone. My advice would be, if you guys have cooler eyes in the like warm shade category like I'm going to, if your eyes are a little bit more warm, maybe they're brown, you can also blend this out with like a purpley shade or a mauvey kind of shade. But I like the way terracottas look on my eye because you'll see they start to pop the blue in my eye. So I'm just going into those two products. I am dusting off my brush, and I'm just going to start packing that into the crease area. I'm literally taking that shadow and I'm winging it out slightly, but I'm also taking it all the way into the eye area so that I get a really nice sweep of color. It's looking a little bit more orangey than I would like, so I'm going to go in just now and add a little bit more brown. I'm going to go into a more chocolatey brown shade in that same palette, and all I'm going to do is blend that into the outer area of the eye and into the crease. What that's doing is just giving me a little bit more depth. So what I've I've done, I've just literally winged my eyeshadow out like that, and I've pulled it underneath my eye a little bit. I'm actually going to smudge some more of that eyeshadow underneath the lash line. I'm taking my eyeshadow brush from Sorbet. I really love this brush for smudging underneath the eye. Going into those same chocolatey shades, and I'm actually just going to literally smudge that brown underneath my eye. And then I'm taking my blending brush and I'm just going to blend the harshness of that line away. Don't worry about all of this coming really far down onto the eye area. That is all going to get cleaned up when we fix up the eyeshadow at the end with our concealer. Okay, now that eye is looking quite crazy, I'm going to go in with a really chubby eyeliner. This one is from Iman Cosmetics, and it is just a really like thick black chubby liner. I don't generally love these liners in general. Usually love these liners. However, for a look like this where I want the liner to kind of be smudgy and kind of go all over the eye, I don't mind a liner like this. To pull my eyelid down, and I'm going to tight line the bottom lash line and the top lash line, or the waterline rather. I'm just going to give that a few seconds to settle while I do the other eye. If you look really closely, you'll see there's a little bit of fallout from that liner, and the liner is almost already starting to smudge. So what I like to do now is take that same eyeshadow brush I've been using and just go into a very dark brown liner. I mean a very dark brown eyeshadow or a black eyeshadow, and go really close to that lash line and just take a bit of it and literally make it work with the makeup look, and it's go over the smudged area and with the eyeshadow and kind of blend it in. It almost creates like a little bit of a punk rocker look, but I'm not complaining. I don't hate it. I do like really sultry eyes. I do go in and layer my eyeliner 3 or 4 times just to make sure that that black is quite solid. I'm just picking up my Blur the Line eyeliner from Sorbet. It is such a nice eyeliner. It's got a really fine tip. And what I'm going to do is just tight line again and go over that bottom lash line. I like this one because it's got great staying power. It really lasts. What I am going to do just to create a little bit more balance is I'm going to take a tiny bit of black eyeshadow. You want to take a really dark black eyeshadow, and I'm literally going to place it very slightly in my inner crease on the outer corner. Just make sure you're not applying too much. It's just a really light touch. You can see how little I've actually applied. And then with a really fluffy blending brush, I'm going to just blend that out into the rest of the makeup look. Lashes. This look requires really thick chunky lashes in my opinion, because it's like quite an evening look. I love a good thick chunky lash. So I'm going to be using my Essence Lash Princess. You guys can see how well loved this is. It's actually hella gross. And I'm also going to be layering in my Sorbet Wear Out Lashes mascara. I'm actually going to move on to my skin right now. So I don't hate the fact that my eyeliner is really low down. I feel like it frames the eye quite beautifully, and it really is working. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with a little bit of concealer, and my concealer of choice today is going to be the Essence Brush Concealer. It is the, what is this? The Stay Natural Concealer. I don't even know, but I've enjoyed this quite a bit, and I'm literally just dotting it under my eye area. Just like that. And I'm taking my Sorbet Beauty Blender. I really love this guy. He's so good. I'm just going to spray a little bit of Fix Plus on him, matte him down, and then I'm just going to push that concealer in underneath my eye. Once the concealer is done, sometimes I do have to go in and just go over that eyeshadow area and just re-intensify it. But you want to make sure that that line between your like upper cheekbone and under eye area and your eyeshadow is not defined. You want to make sure that it's quite diffused and it looks quite natural. Otherwise, as soon as you take a photo, it's going to look like this whole part of your face is completely plastered on. And girl, no one likes that. Happy with how my under eye area looks. I don't want my contour and highlight to be too hectic, so I'm going to go in just with a normal bronzing powder. This is from NUA Cosmetics Artistry Academy brand, and I'm just using a really fluffy kind of blending brush, and I'm going to go into my bronzer. I'm going to dust it off, and I'm going to try and give this moon face a little bit more structure. You know, guys, like during this quarantine period, all your girl's been doing is eating, so things have not been going great for me at this point, but you know, we're trying. We have contouring to help us out. Those lines on my face are still like really defined, so I'm just going to take a really big fluffy brush and I'm just going to buff them out a little bit more. A step that I should have done earlier was set my under eye concealer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this Sorbet Powder to You powder on my my highlighting brush from Sorbet as well, and I'm just going to pack a bit of that powder on underneath my eye. This is such an amazing powder, guys. The coverage is amazing. I'm going to bring you in closer so you can also have a look at the finish of it. Look how smooth that side of my face is in comparison to this side. It really does just smooth and buff everything out. I'm going to just go on my forehead as well to avoid any oils that may occur. This is so snatched right now. Like, I am so in love with the makeup, the way this makeup look is looking. Generally, us influencers and like people on YouTube or whatever, I think sometimes we think we have like a really direct vision in our minds of what things are going to look like, and then we start playing with our face and realize that things change all the time. This is not how I thought this look would work, but it really is looking good. I am going to go into my Sorbet Shimmer and Glow Shimmer Brick. Can you guys tell that I'm loving the Sorbet makeup recently? I did a collab with them not that long ago, and I went to a lot of like their masterclasses and stuff. There's a few videos on my YouTube channel, but I'm really loving this brand, and I think like it's so easily accessible for South Africans, and it's easily accessible for a lot of you guys. So that's why I keep reaching for it, because I feel like everyone can pretty much get their hands on it, and it's also super affordable, which is great. This is a really great product because it's got a little bit of a nice peachy color to it, but it's got a lot of shine in it. So you guys will notice I'm starting on the apples of my cheek, and then I'm actually going on to that highlight area. I'm going to apply a little bit more of another highlight, and I'm going to also obviously take this over the bridge of my nose to give like a really good sun-kissed look. I am not a big blush person, but this product is amazing because it's got that like shimmer and blush in it. So even if you're wanting like a more peachy shade to your skin tone, it works for that. In terms of highlights, I'm going to be using my Revolution Pro 4K highlighter palette. This I did buy overseas, so unfortunately you can't get it in South Africa, but if you are an international person and you're watching this video, you can obviously get this. I'm going into this like champagne-y color with a really small eyeshadow blending brush, and I'm literally just going to hit my face on the very high points. This is a very intense highlighter, as I'm sure you can tell. So I don't want to go too much to town with it. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go into my brows, and there's so many products you can use for your brow, but what I'm going to be using is a combination of the Brows Ability brow pencil, and I'm going to be using my other little brow pencil from Essence, and I'm also going to be using some eyeshadows from the James Charles palette, but I'm actually going to just jump off real quick and do my brows and come back with my brows all did. Okay, brows are on, and I'm really feeling like a terracotta-y type lip with this look. So I'm going to go in with my Sorbet Lip Line Up Dual Liner Lip Liner. I've really been loving this shade. Go in and do is line my lip and fill it in with lipstick, and then we should be good to go. So I just went ahead and applied my lipstick. So I applied Taupe from MAC. I love this color. It's such a beautiful shade. It's such a good nude on every skin tone, and I've loved having it in my kits. I promise you I reach for it all the time. And then I just went over it with my lip gloss, which is just the Get Glossy by Sorbet as well, in the shade Honey Bunch. This has probably been my most favorite lip gloss of the whole year. It's got like a shimmer in it, it's got like a little bit of a glitter, that it lasts really long, and it has a really beautiful color to it. And that is pretty much it for this makeup look. I really love the way that it came out. I love that the glitter is there, but it's not like super intense, it's not like super overpowering. I love the fact that there's cool and warm elements in the makeup. I love the full coverage of it. And yeah, I would say that this is the perfect kind of everyday glam, not everyday glam, I'd say more like evening glam, event glam, date night glam. I don't know where you guys are going. Hopefully it's not out anytime soon after, while this whole lockdown thing's going on. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you enjoyed this little look from me, and I will see you guys all in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe, share, do whatever you gotta do, but let's unite in supporting this little group of South African beauty influencers. I still feel like we're super unappreciated in the greater scheme of things. So yeah, I hope you guys have an awesome day further, and I will see you all soon.